HMRC is writing to thousands of UK residents today. Not tomorrow, not next month. Today, the 12th of August 2026, is the confirmed date on which HMRC began dispatching a new wave of letters to pensioners across the United Kingdom. A second wave is already scheduled for October through December. And alongside those letters, a separate set of communications, nudge letters, is landing on the doorsteps of landlords, people with overseas accounts, cryptocurrency holders, and anyone HMRC's Connect system has quietly flagged as having a potential gap between what they declared and what HMRC believes they earned. The people receiving these letters right now fall into two very different categories. Some owe money they genuinely did not know they owed. Others owe nothing, but the way they respond to the letter will determine whether HMRC accepts that or opens a formal investigation. My name is Frank. Welcome back to HMRC Update. Today, I want to explain exactly who HMRC is contacting, why, what each type of letter means in practice, what the correct response is for each one, and the single most common mistake people make when one of these envelopes arrives, a mistake that turns an informal nudge into a formal inquiry. If you are not subscribed to HMRC Update, please do that now and hit the bell. The letters I am covering today are live and landing right now. The response windows inside them are already running. Subscribe. Let us get into it. I want to start with the letter that is reaching the largest number of people today, because HMRC confirmed the timing officially, and most of the people receiving it have no idea it was coming. Working-age customers began receiving simple assessment letters from the 30th of June 2026. Pensioners will begin receiving letters from the 12th of August 2026. A second tranche of letters will be sent between October and December 2026, relating to bank and building society interest data. HMRC urges customers not to ignore assessment letters. A simple assessment letter, formerly a PA 302, is HMRC's method of collecting income tax that could not be taken automatically through PAYE or any other source. It is generated by HMRC's automated systems using data received from employers, pension providers, banks, and the DWP. It states a specific tax figure and a payment deadline, and it is arriving on pensioners' doorsteps from today. The reason pensioners specifically are receiving these letters right now connects directly to the frozen personal allowance and the rising state pension, a combination that has been quietly pulling more retired people into taxable income for the first time. A retired person may receive state pension and private pension income. If not enough tax has been collected through the private pension, HMRC may issue a bill. Someone with employment income and significant bank interest may also receive a direct demand if the interest creates extra tax that has not been collected through PAYE. The full new state pension for 2026 to 2027 is £12,547.60 a year. The personal allowance is frozen at £12,570. The gap between them is £22.40. Any additional income at all, a small private pension, savings interest, part-time earnings, closes that gap and creates a tax liability HMRC collects through exactly this kind of letter. If a simple assessment letter has arrived today or arrives in the weeks ahead, here is what you need to do, and here is what you absolutely must not do. Do not ignore it. HMRC urges customers not to ignore simple assessment letters. The payment deadline on the letter is real. The interest that starts running after that deadline is real. And the escalation from a letter to an enforcement action when no response is received is automatic. Do not automatically pay it either, not before checking the figures. The calculation is generated by software, and that software does not always produce a correct result. Check whether ISA interest has been included. It should not be. Check whether joint account interest has been correctly split 50-50 or whether the actual beneficial ownership is different. Check whether the income figure covers the correct tax year rather than a calendar year. And check whether the starting rate for savings has been correctly applied. If your non-savings income is below $17,570, you may be entitled to receive up to $5,000 of savings interest free of tax on top of your personal savings allowance, and that relief is not always reflected in the automated calculation. If the figures look wrong, you have 60 days from the date on the letter to challenge them by calling HMRC on 0300 200 3310. That 60-day window runs from the date on the letter, not from the date you opened it, not from today. If the letter has been sitting on a shelf for 3 weeks, the clock has been running for 3 weeks. Now let me move to the second category of HMRC contact that is reaching a very different group of people right now, and that requires a completely different response. Nudge letters are informal communications from HMRC that encourage taxpayers to review their filings. While not part of a formal investigation, they serve as a warning that HMRC has identified potential discrepancies or risks in a taxpayer's records. Nudge letters sit somewhere between a reminder and a warning and are usually sent because HMRC believes there may be undeclared overseas income, gains, or reporting obligations. This belief will have been established based on information HMRC has received through international data sharing agreements, financial institutions, or other sources. The HMRC Connect system uses data to generate a list of targeted recipient taxpayers to receive nudge letter mail shots, approximately one new campaign per month. During the 2023 to 2024 tax year, nudge letters resulted in 6 million taxpayers making or correcting returns and paying an additional £448 million in tax. 6 million taxpayers, £448 million in tax. Additional tax. From letters that carry no legal force and require no mandatory response. That is the scale of what HMRC's nudge letter program achieves, and it achieves it because the letters work on a psychological level. They arrive, people assume HMRC knows something specific, they voluntarily disclose. Sometimes that disclosure uncovers a genuine obligation. Sometimes it uncovers nothing, because the person had nothing to disclose, but the process of engaging the letter creates an impression of guilt that was never warranted. Understanding what a nudge letter actually is and what it is not is the difference between responding correctly and responding in a way that creates a problem where none existed. Nudge letters typically warn the recipient that taking no action will likely result in an inquiry. HMRC usually gives a deadline of 30 days to respond. You can respond either by lodging an intention to disclose or by informing HMRC there is nothing to declare. The current nudge letter camp UK residents right now covers several specific areas. HMRC is sending nudge letters to overseas companies and individuals that own UK property, using data from the land registry cross-referenced with internal records, targeting owners who may not have submitted non-resident capital gains tax returns or annual tax on envelope dwellings returns. Nudge letters are being issued to individuals who are temporarily non-resident, people who left the UK and later returned, to ensure they correctly reported income and gains in the year they resumed UK residency. The letters are being sent to individuals who claimed non-residence in at least one tax year since 2018 to 2019, have since resumed UK residency, and may have received income or made disposals while abroad without declaring these in UK tax returns upon return. HMRC uses algorithms to monitor online marketplaces, cryptocurrency exchanges, and even social media for signs of undeclared income. Common reporting standard agreements allow HMRC to receive financial data from foreign banks about UK residents' accounts. Land registry data helps HMRC identify property transactions that may trigger capital gains tax. Drop a comment below if you have received a nudge letter from HMRC and did not know what it was or what it meant. The number of people who receive these letters and either panic into an unnecessary disclosure or ignore them entirely, both of which are wrong responses, is very large. Back to what the correct response actually looks like. In cases professionals see, the letter has uncovered years of misunderstanding around residency, overseas savings, foreign pensions, inherited assets, or international investments. Importantly, many of the people receiving these letters are not deliberately hiding money offshore. The correct process when a nudge letter arrives is this. Read it carefully and determine whether it is a nudge letter, an informal prompt to review your affairs, or a compliance check letter, which is a formal information request that carries different legal weight. Where the letter is specifically asking for information to be provided as a response, it will generally be classed as a compliance check by HMRC. A compliance check letter carries different implications, and the recipient will generally not be eligible to use the digital disclosure service to make a voluntary disclosure. For a genuine nudge letter, the 30-day response window is the critical piece. Within that window, review your tax affairs against whatever the letter references: overseas income, property disposals, cryptocurrency gains, repair and maintenance expenditure on rental properties, business asset disposal relief claims. Establish whether there is a genuine omission or underpayment. If there is, the correct route is a voluntary disclosure through HMRC's digital disclosure service at gov.uk, which results in substantially lower penalties than waiting for HMRC to open a formal inquiry. If there is no genuine omission, write to HMRC within the 30-day window confirming that you have reviewed your affairs and there is nothing to declare. Keep a copy of that response. The letter may also be accompanied by a certificate that requests any response to be declared correct and complete to the best of the recipient's knowledge and belief. This declaration contains a warning that any material inaccuracy in the response may result in a criminal investigation and prosecution. There is no legal requirement to complete the certificate, but the invitation to do so highlights the importance of seeking professional advice as soon as you receive a nudge letter. That last point deserves particular attention. The certificate is not mandatory. Signing it without being certain that your affairs are fully in order carries a risk that is disproportionate to the pressure the letter creates. If you are in any doubt about whether your tax affairs are complete, taking professional advice before signing and returning any certificate is the correct step. Now here is the third category of HMRC contact that is reaching people right now, and this one is the most insidious because it does not look like an official letter at all. It looks like a refund offer. HMRC uses digital footprints and algorithms across platforms to monitor compliance activity, and criminal gangs use the same public knowledge of when HMRC letters are expected to deploy phishing scams timed to coincide with genuine HMRC contact exercises. Every time HMRC announces a contact exercise, simple assessment letters going to pensioners from the 12th of August, nudge letters going to overseas income holders, low earner pension payment notifications going out, there is a corresponding spike in fraudulent emails, text messages, and phone calls impersonating HMRC. These typically offer a tax refund, request personal and banking details to process it, and create urgency by HMRC's confirmed position on this is clear. HMRC never contacts taxpayers by email, text, or phone to offer an unexpected refund or to request bank details. HMRC never asks for payment by gift card or cryptocurrency. HMRC never threatens immediate arrest or demands instant payment to avoid legal action. Every contact of those types is fraudulent, regardless of what number is calling or what email address it comes from. If you receive a communication claiming to be from HMRC that offers a refund, requests your bank details, or creates any sense of immediate urgency around payment or personal information, do not engage with it. Verify any HMRC communication by logging into your personal tax account at gov.uk directly, not through any link provided in the communication. If you believe you have received a fraudulent HMRC communication, report it to HMRC's phishing reporting address at phishing@hmrc.gov.uk. So here is the complete picture of who HMRC is contacting today and what to do about it. Pensioners are beginning to receive simple assessment letters from the 12th of August 2026, with a second tranche coming between October and December 2026. If one arrives, read the figures carefully before paying. Check for ISA interest, joint account splits, correct tax year coverage, and starting rate for savings eligibility. Challenge any discrepancy within 60 days by calling HMRC on 0300 200 3310. Nudge letters are landing right now for non-resident property owners, temporarily non-resident individuals who have returned to the UK, cryptocurrency holders, and people with overseas income and accounts. HMRC typically gives 30 days to respond. Review your affairs against whatever the letter references. Disclose voluntarily through the digital disclosure service if there is a genuine gap. If there is nothing to declare, write to HMRC within 30 days confirming your review. Do not sign any certificate accompanying the letter without being certain your affairs are complete, and take professional advice if you are in any doubt. And if a communication arrives offering a tax refund, requesting bank details, or creating urgency around payment, it is fraudulent. Report it to phishing@hmrc.gov.uk and verify your actual tax position through your personal tax account at gov.uk. The content of HMRC's nudge letters places the onus on the taxpayer, not HMRC, to review historic tax returns and correct tax compliance if appropriate. The simple assessment letter places the onus on you to check the figures and respond within the deadline. The phishing contact places the onus on you to recognize it and not engage. In every case, the correct response requires knowing what type of contact you have received before deciding what to do about it. You now know how to tell the difference and exactly what each one requires. Share this with someone who has received a letter from HMRC recently and is not sure what it means or what to do about it. The people most at risk from all three categories of contact I have covered today are the people who either panic and act without checking or ignore and hope the problem resolves itself. Neither approach ends well. Subscribe to HMRC Update if you are not already here. I will see you